Hey everyone, you're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash, and here's today's comic. Superman number 6 by Brian Michael Bendis. Brian Michael Bendis. What did you do? Look at this face. Look at this. I normally like Adam Hughes. Well, look at this cover. It just signifies the train wreck that is this comic. DC hired Lex Luthor to write 10 comics a month from this toilet seat. This is the toilet seat, limited edition, 1 of 1, that Bendis writes his shit. All right, this book is a whole different kind of problem and shit that I've been doing. I sat down with this book and I was like, maybe it's going to be okay. Like issue 5. If you saw my review, I was like, really kind of was a decent book. The only problem with that book was that issue 1 through 4 existed before it that just totally distracted and took away as a faulty foundation. It didn't allow 5 to stand. And Action Comics has been going back and forth with its own deal with the whole Lois and Jonathan Kent. Well, actually, the lack of Jonathan Kent. Just whatever. You can see my reviews for that. Especially watch reviews for 1003, 1004. Yeah. This is a 22-page comic. Like normal, right? If you figure modern comics, I don't know what the actual number is, but I'm guessing modern comics average between 5 and 7 panels per page. 22-page comic, you're looking at 125-ish to maybe 150 panels per comic, right? You're with me on that? Like, some comics can do more. You know, Miracle Man did 9 panels per page. Watchmen did 9 panels. You know, they did the whole thing. You can do more. Like 5 to 7, I think, is just being fair. This comic, I'll take a guess. How many panels? This comic is 41 panels. 41. That's a sixth of a comic. It's about 2 panels. No, I'm sorry. It's 51 panels. 51. 51. That's, what's that? A third of a comic. It's, oh my God. I'm struggling to, I just read this book. I'm struggling to put into words. This is the book. Just nothingness. In the early days, Lois came to me with a valid concern about our relationship. Some idea, she said, she half heard in some movie she was listening to on a flight she was half asleep on, but still, it stayed with her. She was now worried that with my super speed, I was going to have to force myself to slow down just to be with her. That I have to really make myself communicate on a normal human level. That it was an effort for me to be with her. Is she not aware that you're Clark Kent? Is she not aware that you spend most of your days living your life as a normal person, interacting with normal people? I assured her, that's not how it works. The effort is in the speed. It's difficult to live in a speed of motion all by yourself. Fist connecting to face. I thought that was pretty cool. Credit to Ivan Rice, man. Anything that I say negative about this book applies in no way to Ivan Rice. Okay? No way. There we go. Big 2-page splash. 2-page splash. Look. All nice. Look at you. Just admire the art. I got in a little bit of a just a silly debate with Donald DeLay on Twitter. It wasn't like anything serious. So I like to joke around with him, and he jokes around with me about art and stuff. And he just buys the comics for art. He doesn't care about story. And I was talking about story over art. Blah blah blah. Okay, so he would enjoy this. He would just be like, I don't care about these words things up here. Look at this big 2-page spread of Zod and Superman fighting Rogol-Zar. Just awesome. But then just listen. It's lonely, and the choices have to be made. Sometimes life choices, sometimes life and death choices. But on days like today, Zod versus Rogol-Zar, Krypton's #1 criminal battling the creature that says he destroyed the planet. On days like today, speed is a problem. Yes, I can see a normal punch coming. I can think 3 moves ahead of everyone but Barry Allen when I have my head screwed on straight. But the speed at which all of these warriors can and do battles is at a pace that most can't even see with the naked eye. This entire battle, a battle that is suddenly for the legacy of Krypton, will be over in seconds. My first unchecked instinct is to break it up. That is my first instinct? Hey, look, another 2-page spread. Bogged down with more words. The second Zod showed up, I said to myself, this is it. This is how the Kryptonian history books could end, right here. And I, with my super speed, have just seconds to decide the entire fate of my people. Just a moment to decide, once and for all, how far I can take this fight without betraying my entire life's work. Or can I just let Zod do it? As so clearly he wants to, for us. For all of us. Yes, Zod. Zod will be our new hero because Bendis fucking Superman apparently is too cucked out to do anything. Here's the new Superman, folks. Get used to it. Every day I desperately try to live up to what everyone expects from me, which is what I want from me as well. But I'm not a child. There has to be some point to which, okay, yeah, you get the point. Like, it just drones on and on. Meanwhile, the comic, the visuals, are just big-ass 2-page spread of the battle of Superman's... This is the biggest battle of Superman's life. Let me repeat this. Biggest battle of Superman's life. Over 1,000 comics of just action comics, not including all the other Superman spin-offs, thousands of comic books, he's never fought a bigger battle, deadlier opponent than Rogol-Zar. He's even having help from the new Superman. And it's just droning on. Oh, look, more big action pounding. There's our hero, Zod, saving the day, punching the Zar into oblivion. Superman is just prattling on. Oh, and here we go. Look at Zod. Go, Zod, go. Go. Take down that guy. Superman, you just keep prattling while Zod does all the work. Oh, here's more prattling. Oh, Rogol-Zar's had enough. Oh, look at this grand art. Just loving the visuals of this book. Falling to sleep to this rhyme of the Ancient Mariner that Bendis has penned for us. It just goes on and on. I mean, I would read it to you. I really want to read it to you for effect, but I think you would unsubscribe from my channel. Turn the page. Look, another 2-page spread for Kandor. Oh my God. So Superman gets a punch in. Good for you, Superman. You got a punch after Zod's... Thanks, Zod. Zod softened him up for you. Oh my God. Oh, what the... I have my fingers to my forehead and massaging my temples in a face palm. What the fuck is this? No one needs another imprint at DC. DC already has an imprint. It's called DC Comics. If they want to change their name to Wonder Comics, so be it. We don't need DC Comics and Wonder Comics. Especially since it's got DC properties. Now this is confusing. Young Justice, and Naomi, Who the fuck wants... You canceled Immortal Men for this, so now you can have Wonder Twins and Dial H for Hero and Naomi. No one wants this shit. Now, some people want Young Justice because I don't know why they think this thing is fucking cool. You're telling me that is better than John Kent? You're wrong. Look at this. This is just the Arrested Development syndrome of the millennials of today that make up all the SJWs. This isn't for kids. This is for the SJWs that don't want to read comics that have any masculinity in it. That's why SJWs like to read kid comics, because kids are, boys aren't really men. They can just be silly, and they're not offended by their masculinity. They haven't grown up to be toxic males. All right, back to, oh, look, another fucking 2-page spread. Excuse my language. Zar. Let's see if Bendis has changed the tone. That wasn't for Rogol. That was for Zod. He's talking about the Forkandor thing. As soon as I opened my mouth, I realized that the only person who really needed to hear that was Zod. Even though I hold Zod in the same disregard as Rogol, I must subconsciously just decided that I want Zod to unleash hell. I want Rogol to see the fiery zealots hating Zod's eyes. I stare into it on occasion, so I just made sure Zod knows what I know. Rogol Zar massacred the floating city of Xandor, and our only real, true hope for Krypton. Although this lets Zar know that he's got to me. That doesn't mean anything. That is ego. But now Zod knows. But I don't know what else Zod knows. It just keeps going. Oh, here's more. Here's more. Like, for this. Oh, holy shit. It's not a 2-page spread. We're halfway through we are past the staples before we get to a non-2-page spread. Oh my god. Bendis phoned this one in big time. So he's wrapping up his long diatribe, and he's warped back into reality. Well, not reality, but back to Earth. They're like, yes, we got Superman, and they pull him in. Now, we'll be fair. This is like more of a normal comic book, and it's actually written kind of well, and it portrays Superman kind of right in a vacuum. If we didn't understand what was going on in the faulty foundation that's surrounding this, if I just picked this up and didn't understand the story, I'd be reading this and be fine with what's happening. Superman is, he's talking with these guys. So, what's going on? So, Star Labs basically admitted their guilt. There's a scene right here where they're like, it's funny. The very same experiment they were doing that caused the Phantom Zone to consume the Earth in the first place gave us the intel needed to get you back home. Everyone turns and stares at him. Oh, I'm still going to prison. That was borderline. It wasn't cutesy, cringe. It almost was, but I thought it was just enough to be like, that's kind of funny. Well, it's true. Now that we're able to get you out, outstanding work. I really appreciate it, but I need you to put me back in. What? So Superman, being the noble person he is, can't leave Zar there. You got to go back and stop the greatest fight, the threat to anything. Okay. I want you to remember Man of Steel. And if you didn't read Man of Steel, or you don't remember, I'm going to remind you. That story was about Rogol Zar implanting a device in the center of the Earth to destroy the planet. Rogol Zar is not enough to kill Superman. He needs to kill the infestation that Superman has brought. So since Superman's home is Earth, he's going to blow up the Earth. Keep this in mind. Why is that important, Ash? I'm glad you asked. So here we have, they're talking. I'm not going to spoil what that's all about in case you read this. Which I encourage you to not just hear my word if you think that my opinions aren't good and you want to see for yourself. Meanwhile, there's a big fight going on. Zod's getting his ass kicked, as we kind of expect, because Rogol is just an unstoppable super machine, and Bendis just pulled out of his ass and said, let's have Doomsday be a plotting, intelligent being. What do we get? We get Rogol Zar. All right. So this is actually kind of cool. Once you got Superman out of the way, I had a dream. Zod's all beat up, but he's determined. To hell, Kryptonian. And lifts Zod up. Zar, Zar, Zar. Everyone's cheering him. And he's like, no, not me. We. My strength is yours. Your strength is mine. We together. We together. And then they're like, we together. We together. And they're following him. And he's the whole, the discarded body of Zod. Who can't be dead, right? Come on. The sun feels unbelievable. I desperately need it. But he's saving a helicopter. With my head clear from the battle, with some distance, a bit of perspective. Hey, look, time to take a selfie. Yay! The Earth is in mortal danger. Zod is dying. But hey, cool, man. Gotta take one for the kids. This is all I can think of is my father. Why is it all you can... Really? Okay. So, now he's flying around. I've been pretending this isn't obviously the case, but my father has the answers. My father knows what the monster Rogolzar is. He knows what Zod was doing there. My father knows where my son is. My father knows a lot more. He's flying. Stop. Why are you stopping? I checked him immediately with my X-ray vision. I listened to specific sounds of his body. Sounds I know better than my own. Not a shapeshifter, not a trick. Well, if it is... Hi, Dad, don't freak out. John? I knew this was coming. And I still was like, what the fuck? Look at this hideous visage. Why? Why would you do this? Why? You're already bringing back teenage Superboy. Why do you need to make John teenage? This is horrendous. I really almost wanted to tear up this book. I'm not going to... That's other people's bags. What the fuck? This... Okay. So you saw in Action Comics 1004, the death of Lois. Superman number 5, you saw the death of John Kent. This is it. We all knew it was coming. I had hope. If you go back and watch my early reviews of Man of Steel, I was the one that was like, no, Bendis going to do all right. Like, he just had bad editing at Marvel, and he was bored. He's been there for 20 years, all the stuff. DC's doing good editing. They're not going to let him just run away with their flagship character. I was wrong. I gave him a chance. I've stood up for him in times when he does things right. This is garbage. This is no excuse for $3.99, except for Ivan Reis, unless you want good just pictures. I don't understand who anyone wants to read this shit. Yes, there was a couple pages where I was like, oh, hey, these are well-written pages. But the overall product, we are now 6 issues into Superman. This is a trade paperback. From 1 to 6. This is a trade's worth. The trade paperback is going to end, if you've been following along, with the story of Superboy just showing up at the end. Nothing has happened. This is trash. Bendis is phoning in garbage. And I don't know what to say. This is... Martian Manhunter Martian Manhunter was 10 times better than this. I know the art wasn't, but I could read a story. I don't care that the art was fantastic. I can go online, I can watch artists do pinups and stuff all the time. I did care that Martian Manhunter had art that was really hard to get through. But at the end, I felt satisfied that I'd read a good story, or the beginnings of a good story. This, I'm just mad. Every time not every time. 3/4 of the time, when I close a Bendis Superman book, I'm mad. And this should not be the case. That's not why fans pay $3.99 for 41 panels. 51 panels, sorry. 51 panels. DC, you should be ashamed of yourself. This... I don't have anything more to say. This shocked me. I was expecting like the normal way that Bendis trashes. He's like, hold my beer. I found a new way to shit the bed. I'm just whatever. This is whatever. Nothing matters. Bendis brought this Marvel nothing matters attitude to DC, and he's infecting it. And don't buy this. Don't buy this trash. I bought it because I was wrong. Because I was thinking Bendis, I was wrong. But now I am buying it because this is the most views my channel gets, is me, roasting this. I don't even roast it. I just trash it. So yeah, that's it. Please comment. Give me something good to think about. Something good to think about. The real Superman writer that everyone loves, Tomasi, at least he's on Detective Comics. So there we go. I'm going to be reading that next to cleanse my palate. Thanks for watching.